Hey everyone, hope everyone's doing happy. I hope you all are doing blessed, doing safe, and doing well. This is my review of Star Wars Visions Season 2. Now, if you're wondering why I'm taking so long to do Star Wars Visions Season 2 review, it's because I've only now just watched it. I did not have Disney Plus and I did not have Hulu since September of 2021, and I've only recently gotten it back, and it's now February of 2023, and that's why it took me so long to do these. And it's not going to be the first one. There are going to be others as well. But yeah, this is my review of Star Wars Vision Season 2. And I have to say, I thoroughly enjoyed this. But before we continue on, I am going to put a spoiler warning on the front of this because I don't want you spoiled in any way, shape, or form if you don't want to be spoiled. Okay. Now, I'm not going to show images because I've heard that images have been taken down, but I am going to put a spoiler warning on here because there are going to be spoilers for Vision Season 2. Okay. I'm going to try to keep them as minimal as possible, but there will be spoilers for Star Wars Vision Season 2. So from this point on, consider yourself warned. Five, four, three, two, one. You've been warned. Spoilers from this point forward. So let's start with Star Wars Vision Season 2. And these are the episodes that are part of Season 2. You have Sith, Screecher's Reach, In the Stars, I Am Your Mother, Journey to Darkhead, The Spy Dancer, Bandits of Golok, The Pit, and Uru Song. Now, let me start with my favorite episodes. So, my favorite episodes out of this entire series is Sith, and these are in no particular order, but it's season 2, episode 1, Sith, season 2, episode 9, Eru Song, and season 2, episode 6, Spy Dancer. Okay. Now, there are a few close ones, but those are my three top favorites. Now, the lowest one and there are two of these. The lowest ones are I Am Your Mother and the Bandits of Golok. Okay. I Am Your Mother is season 2, episode 4, and Bandits of Golok is season 2, episode 7. The rest of these come somewhere in the middle. But I absolutely loved the Sith. I absolutely loved not Screecher's Reach, but Spy Dancer. And I absolutely loved Eru Song. Those were my top three. Okay. I absolutely love those. And I'm going to explain why. So let me start with Sith. If you ever saw season 1 of Visions, there was an episode, the very first episode called The Duel. Okay. Where they use color in very interesting ways. That color told as much of the story as, say, the dialogue or the characters told the story. Okay, the colors told as much of the story as the dialogue or the characters. Sith is the exact same way. They use colors to tell as much of the story as dialogue or the characters or the action or anything. I mean, Sith is absolutely beautiful. Okay, it is beautiful and it's such a treat to watch because even if you turned it on mute, okay, you could follow along with the story of what's going on without even without even hearing the words, just by the colors. Okay, and it's the same way with the Duel almost. Okay, but with the Duel, you had black and white, you had red, and that was basically it. Okay. With Sith, they took it to a whole nother level. You have all these different colors, and you have this story going on about coming to terms with your past and trying to move forward, and but doing it through such an artistic expression. Okay. Just doing it through an artistic expression that is just so enjoyable to watch. Okay, that even if you turned it on mute, okay, and you turned off the subtitles, you could still basically get the idea of what's going on the screen just by the colors and what you're seeing on screen. The colors and the way they do it are telling as much the story as dialogue or character development or anything. And it is such a treat to watch. It is so beautiful to watch. Now let's move on to my second favorite episode. And that is Eru's song. When you have an episode like Sith, okay, it tells the story through colors and through animation. Eru's song is the exact opposite end of the spectrum, where it tells the story through song. Okay, there is dialogue. I mean, this ain't a musical, okay, but you hear what's going on, okay, and the colors don't matter as much as what's being said and what's being sung on screen. Okay, it is beautiful to hear, whereas Sith is beautiful to watch. Okay, it's just so glorious. Okay, that and it's really sad that this is the final episode of season two. Okay, it really is. But like, it is just such a treat to watch this and to hear this song and to hear this story, And I absolutely love this episode. Okay, and I loved it for a different reason. Okay, whereas Sith, I loved it because of the colors. For every song, I loved it because of how the story revolved around song, around sound, around music. Whereas Sith told the story through sound, through lights and colors and how an animation, every song told it through dialogue and through song. It ain't musical, okay? And if you think it's musical, it ain't musical. But the whole story revolves around this little girl who can basically sing, and it affects kyber crystals. Okay, and you see this happen throughout the entire episode. Okay, where she begins to sing, and these kyber crystals, which have been corrupted, suddenly become uncorrupted, and people are scared of her, and her father is trying to protect her and everything. Every song is beautiful in the way the dialogue moves the story along. It's beautiful in the songs that the little girl sings to basically put the force back into these corrupted kyber crystals. All that. It is beautiful in song the way the Sith is beautiful in lights and colors. Okay. So the Sith and Eru song are on opposite ends of the spectrum. And I think it's sad that they ended it with Eru's song, but I can see where they're coming from. I mean, they started it with basically another version of the duel from season one, okay? And it where they started the season with this beautiful animation and color and all that, and they end the season with a episode about how song can move a story, how sound can move a story. So yeah, I mean, I it's sad that that happened that way, but I can see where they're coming from. They wanted to go on opposite ends of the spectrum, so I can completely acknowledge what they were doing there. Okay, and I really liked it, but it was still sad that Eru's song was the last episode. Okay, because it is so good. Now there's Spy Dancer. Let me say, Spy Dancer and Screecher's Reach was really hard to determine who would be my third top pick. And the reason for that is, both of these are really close together in terms for me of how much I like them. But Spy Dancer was just a little bit higher up because this first off, the story starts out as a spy story, and then it turns into a revenge story, and then it becomes a story of hope, all in 15 minutes. Okay, and it does it so flawlessly. Okay, whereas Screecher's Reach, okay, it starts out as one thing, and you think you're going on one journey, and at the end of Screecher's Reach, you suddenly go on another journey. Okay, whereas in 15 minutes, okay, this studio that did Spy Dancer, all right, the studio that did Spy Dancer, and according to my research, okay, and this is according to my research, Spy Dancer was done by French studio Le Cachet. And that's basically where I think a lot of this from Spy Dancer comes from. Okay. Because this episode revolves around not only resistance, but you also have a lot of elements of the old ways of getting intelligence through resistance, okay? Using dancing, using all this stuff. But also on the sidelines, you have this woman who's been wronged by the evil empire, who believes her son is dead. And then around two-thirds of the episode, maybe about 5 minutes, it goes from being a episode about resistance and getting intelligence, a spy, basically James Bond in Star Wars. Okay, I mean it's a little bit different, but basically James Bond or Matahari in Star Wars. Okay, it goes from that to being about getting revenge and then finding hope that your son is still alive. Okay, and they tell this story flawlessly, and I absolutely love the way they do it. They start out as basically spies. Okay, this dancer is trying to get intel. She's trying to get information about the empire at this cabaret that's frequented by the empire. Then she sees the guy who killed her son. He's there, and suddenly it transitions from a tale about trying to beat the empire to a tale of revenge. And then something happens in the final five minutes of the show where suddenly it's about renewed hope. Okay, it becomes about being renewed hope, where suddenly she has something to fight for now. She has a reason to resist more thoroughly against the empire, not just be a spy, but actually fight against the empire. And she has a reason to hope now. Okay, and she planted the seeds of resistance in someone. Okay. And like I said before, I'm trying to keep the spoilers to a minimum. But anyway, I just love the transitioning and how they did that and how they could tell three different stories in 15 minutes. Whereas Screecher's Reach, the animation was great, the story was great. It's just they only told one story throughout the entire 15 minutes, whereas Spy Dancer told three different stories in around 15 minutes, which I think is very, very impressive. Okay. This could have been a jumbled mess had they done it that way, but it turned out beautifully, and I absolutely love this episode. Now, let me talk about my worst picks. The first one is I Am Your Mother. And we've all seen pod racing before, okay? But they turned this into a story about um a family, about a girl being, embarrassed about her family because of where they lived at, because she was going to a fancy flight school and her family's poor and there's a pod race and all that. Okay. I really don't like claymation animation. Okay. It's not against it. It just ain't my cup of tea. Okay. I've never been into like the Wallace and Gromit stuff and all that. Now, in the stars, okay, is another episode that does claymation, and they did a good job of it. I really like their claymation. Okay, I really like their story because their story made you forget you were watching a claymation animation type of story. But I Am Your Mother, I don't know. I just did not really like it. Okay, I mean, just the way they did the pod racing, the way they did the girl being embarrassed by her mother, just all that. I just really did not like it. I mean, I really did not like it. Now, it's not a horrible episode. Okay, I still enjoyed watching it. Okay, which is the prime reason to watch this, because even the worst episodes, you will have a fun time watching. Okay, but let me say, I just really did not like I Am Your Mother. And then the Bandits of Golok. The Bandits of Golok went really slow for me. And Bandits of Golok is episode 7, and I Am Your Mother is episode 4. But Bandits of Golok, I didn't like at all. I didn't really like either. Now, I still have fun watching it, okay? I just didn't really like it, okay? Because it went too slow for me, you know? It just dragged on. And it was getting to the point where it was getting close to being a bad episode. But the ending kind of redeemed it a little bit, all right? Where they finally got to the safe harbor and they finally found a home, okay? which I thought was endearing and I loved a lot. It's just the way they took the path there, it seemed too long. Do you see what I'm saying? It just dragged on and on. And while it ain't a bad episode, I just don't like it. I really just don't like this episode. But yeah, like I did not have really a bad episode, an episode I absolutely hated. But like I did not like Bandits of Golok. Okay. I mean, it was still fun to watch. Okay. I'm gonna say that. It's just I did not like the episode. It took too long to go from point A to point B. Okay. And when you finally get to point B is when all the fun happens. All right. So yeah, I did not like Bandits of Gold. So in closing, let me say this. I enjoyed this season of Star Wars Visions. Okay. I really enjoyed it. Okay. It don't matter which episode you pick, even the bad, what the quote bad episodes, you'll have a fun time watching. Okay. This is honestly the best Star Wars I've seen in a really long time. I think the last time I saw Star Wars this good was The Mandalorian season 2. Okay. But yeah, like Star Wars Vision season 2, I really did enjoy. I really liked it a lot, and I want to see more of this. I'm I'm kind of hoping that they get more studios under their wing for the stuff like this. Okay. I really want them to get A1 Studios. I'm a big Sword Art Online fan. A1 Studios does Sword Art Online. So I would think it would be a natural progression from them to go from Sword Art Online to a Star Wars thing. Okay. Even if it's just one episode, like Star Wars Visions, one episode of Visions, I'll take it. I really want A1 Studios to do a Star Wars thing. I really want them to do either a series or just one episode of Visions. Now, another studio I wish they would bring along, and I understand why they couldn't do it both in season one and season two because there was stuff going on at the studio. But another studio I wish they would bring along is Kyoto Animation. They've done Violet Evergarden and Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid. I think they would be a good fit for an anime too. Okay. But to kind of get back on what I was saying, I absolutely love this anime. Okay. I love Star Wars Vision Season 2. Even the quote bad episodes that maybe didn't float my boat, I enjoyed watching. Okay. And that's not something you can say every day about what's going on with Star Wars. Okay. It ain't. But I absolutely loved, Star Wars Vision Season 2. Okay. It was a great time. It was overall great. Okay. I love season 2. All right. And like I said before, I don't really see a bad episode in this series, in this season, where I basically did not have fun watching it. Okay, where it was just boring. All right. It it's almost like season one. Season one was the same way, where there was not a bad episode that you did not have fun watching. Okay. Whereas in season two, it's the same thing. There were episodes that I did not like, that did not float my boat, but I still enjoyed them. I still enjoyed the story behind them. Maybe, with Bandits of Golok, yeah, it took too long to get there. But at the end of it, it made it all worthwhile. Okay. So, quote unquote, having a bad episode does not mean that it was a terrible episode that I hated it or anything. It just meant it didn't float my boat and I didn't really like it all that much. Okay, but yeah, like there really isn't a episode that I did not have fun watching, and I really enjoyed all of these episodes, just like I enjoyed all of season one. Now, let me say this: I still feel that season one is stronger than season two. Okay, not by much, but pretty decent. Okay. Season one, you know, I really enjoyed. Really enjoyed. Season two, I really enjoyed. But I still think season one is stronger than season two. Okay. And I enjoy all these episodes. This is honestly, season two of Visions is honestly the best Star Wars I have seen in a long time. Okay. And especially coming from Disney, and with everything going on with Disney. I mean, the last time I've seen Star Wars this good was The Mandalorian season two. All right. So look, If you ever get a chance to watch Star Wars Vision season 1, watch Star Wars Vision season 2. Check them out. I guarantee you're not going to find a bad episode in them. Okay, there are some great episodes in them, and the fact that now it ain't just in the heart of anime; it's now around the world. You've got studios from France, you've got Ireland, you've got studios from South Africa. I mean, it's worldwide now. Okay, and you don't really need to know canon to understand these episodes. Okay, you really don't, because these episodes are basically independent stories that are free from canon. Okay, so this would be a good spot for someone who maybe doesn't know all the canon, who maybe doesn't understand all the canon, to kind of jump into Star Wars if they like anime. That is, if to kind of jump into Star Wars and just kind of give it a see what they think of it, and then maybe you can bring them along into our little Star Wars world. But yeah, I really enjoyed Star Wars Vision season 2. It was a blast. I enjoyed it so much. Okay. And even the quote unquote bad episodes were fun to watch. Okay. And when I'm saying bad episodes, I'm specifically talking about I Am Your Mother and the Bandits of Golok. They're not terrible episodes. They just didn't move me like the others did. Okay. But yeah, like even the quote unquote bad episodes were fun to watch. Okay. Normally, when it's a bad episode, it's boring, you hate it, all that. But I enjoyed even the bad episodes. Okay. And it just they didn't float my boat for one reason or another. But when the animation and everything was clicking good, oh my goodness, you had a treat. Like Eru's song was a treat. Sith was a treat. Spy Dancer is a treat. And the Stars, even though it is claymation, was great. Screecher's Reach. Like I said before, I was torn on my third top pick because Screecher's Reach and Spy Dancer are so close together in terms for me. Okay. But like, yeah, like Star Wars Vision Season 2, as of right now, and I've not seen any of the other Star Wars stuff. The last Star Wars stuff I saw was Vision season 1. Okay, I saw the Mandalorian season 2. I did not see Andor, but yeah, like Vision season 1 was probably the last Star Wars I saw, and I had a blast with Vision season 2. Okay, and I give them credit where credit is due. They did a great job on all these episodes. All these studios did. Okay. And this is honestly the best Star Wars I've seen in a long time. And I hope they continue doing stuff like this. I really want them to bring A1 Studios on board, and I want them to bring Kyoto Animation on board. I can understand why they couldn't bring Kyoto on board because there's a lot of stuff going on at the time, and I can understand that. Okay. I really want them to bring A1 because I am a huge Sword Art Online fan. But like, yeah, like I had a blast with season 2 of Visions. It's a great series. It's a great season of Star Wars that you don't really need to understand canon to really enjoy. Okay. And yeah, it's a great show all around. So if you do get a chance, check it out. But anyway, that was my review of Star Wars Vision Season 2. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm going to be doing more of these as time goes on because I now have Disney Plus and Hulu back. So I'm going to be going over stuff like The Mandalorian season 3, Andor, Ahsoka, um, you know, other stuff from the Disney catalog that I've missed since my time away. So please check those out. I'll put those in a separate playlists. But look, I hope you enjoyed this review. There will be more to come. I will see y'all in the next video and the next stream. You all take care of yourselves, and I will see y'all later.